Sige, so magpadayon kita sa atong nga series on the parables. O salamat kita nga naa na kitay subscription sa Zoom o at least dili na kita mag dali-dali sa atong nga time. Salamat nga si Brother Ryan nakakuha siya og subscription. So at least maka-train po ko nga hinahinay og storya ni dili sama sa una. So last time atong gi-end last Friday, nayan kita sa parables of the kingdom o ubay-ubay nga ito na isgutan about the kingdom. And then we started about the parables of grace. So ako na-explain sa una nga kining parables, hanay po kini siya sa pagka-arrange sa mga writers. Pagbisan pa man sa sequence sa dinhi si Jesus sa kalibutan. So it seems that it started with the parables of the kingdom. Nagsugod siya pag-explain sa parable of the kingdom. And then he explained about the parables of grace. And then he explained about the parables of judgment. So, karon nagsugod na kita last Sunday about the parables of grace. O this started sa storya sa feeding of the 5,000 until sa mga parables dito sa triumphant entry ni Jesus into Jerusalem. So, mauna nga section ng atong tanahon ani nga time. I don't know, I think it will last for 5 to 6 siguro. We'll count Friday, wala ta karon Sunday, okay? It will be next Friday and next Sunday. So, mga 6 pa ka session. So, actually, murag nakakuha na ta. I think this is the 7th or 8th session nato sa Zoom. So, bisan pa man walay physical tigom, at least nata din sa internet. So, nagsugod kita last time, the parable of grace. Surprise bisan ako nga it started there. It's the parable of the coin in the fish's mouth. Katong coin nga ingon si Jesus nga, Pedro, ilabay nimo ang imong bingwit ug ang unang isda nga madakpan nimo na ay coin, kwarta, silver, drachma sa iyang drachma ilang kwarta sa una ug mao pud ang monetary kuan karon sa Greece. So naa ko na coin sa baba sa isda. And then we knew that ato na-discuss nga ang punto sa parable was about freedom. Freedom from religion. Kay ingon man si Jesus nga bayari ang temple tax, the didrachma. So mas bugat ang tax sa temple, the temple tax, kaysa tax sa gobyerno nga mao ang Roma sa una. Ug gipasabot ni Jesus nga ang mga tao, ang mga citizens or ang mga sons or ang mga nahisakop sa gingharian, okay? Libre sila, dili sila magbayad og buwis. Sama sa una nga mga Romanhon, the Roman citizens, dili sila magbayad sa tax nila sa ilang gobyerno, pero katong mga tao nga nasakop lang. So like the Jewish people, they have to pay their tax sa Roman government. And in fact, the Roman citizens are free. Ingon gyapon si Jesus, the same in his kingdom, the same in his ecclesia, the called out ones, ang mga anak sa Ginoo, libre sila. They are free. Pero ingon dito, interesting, kay gibayaran, ingon niya kang Pedro, bayari ang temple tax, the didrachma. Bayari ganuman because I am going to make you free. Free from religion because the temple was the symbol of their national life and their religious life. And of course, we know that Jesus said that in 3 days, he will destroy the temple, referring to his body. But he also said to his disciples na ang temple, maguba gid kato og walay mabilin, not a stone will be unturned. So it really happened that Jesus died, and also, of course, later on, in AD 70, as the historians wrote, that the temple was really totally destroyed. Now, ang storya po na before was the transfiguration, na atong madumduman ang storya, ako din nalakbitan last time, nga bisan sa transfiguration, Jesus was hinting, kaya ningon si Pedro nga, naa si Moses, naa si Elijah. And siya, Jesus, I want to make memorials, monuments. Sa una, hilig sila sa Old Testament times, hilig sila magbutang ani mga memorials. And memorials was an old covenant thinking. It was part of their religion that you have to put out something to remember God or what He has done. But we know nga Jesus snapped them out, especially si Pedro nga Don't do that. Ayaw buhatan na Pedro. Because he was saying that I am Moses, and actually I am Elijah, because Elijah was the great prophet, and Jesus is the greatest prophet. And of course, kato si Moses o si Elijah, they were foreshadowing Jesus. Their lives were pointing out to Jesus. Moses was the mediator between the people and God, and so is Jesus. And Elijah, actually, ang iya pong gihulagway sa unahan, which iya pong giniskas, si John the Baptist. Because Elijah was rejected, and so was John the Baptist. But then here comes Jesus. No more need to make memorials. So bisan sa Transfiguration, Jesus is telling you get out of that old thinking, the religion one, the old one. And I am here already. Dili ako. Jesus was saying, I am here already. I am Moses, I am Elijah, and John the Baptist was ahead of me, telling that the kingdom is here. And you need to repent, you need to change your minds. You have to realize your sinfulness, because we know nga to be part of the kingdom, we need to realize our sinfulness, and then we have to accept the salvation that is only found in Jesus. So that was our story last time. And it is a parable of grace because it's a parable of freedom. So the first truth about grace is freedom. Okay? Kagawasan. Kung mao gitong gusto ni Jesus, that we will be free from the old covenant, free from the demand of the law, na mawala na atong old thinking sa religion, of good works, paningkamot. So and then, he goes on to talk in chapter 18 of Matthew. Kung ginita atong text karon, it's in Matthew chapter 12, Matthew chapter 18, verse 12 to 14. Kinadi ni sa atong screens. So ingon din it's the parable of the lost sheep. Dito mag-discuss karon gabi. So if a man has 100 sheep and one of them wanders away, okay, what will he do? Won't he leave the 99 others on the hills and go out to search for the one that is lost? And if he finds it, I tell you the truth, he will rejoice over it more than over the 99 that didn't wander away. In the same way, it is not my heavenly Father's will that even of one of these little ones should perish. Okay, so mao na atong i-discuss karon, and we'll expound it more. Mutabok ta sa Luke about the parables of the losts, kung napay tawag nato sa mga nangawala, wander away. Now, interesting, in Matthew 18, about children, you'll be like a child because you need to be humble to be a part of the kingdom. So, interesting kayo nga after talking about citizens, nga ang mga citizens sa gingharian sa Roma, ang ilang mga tawo, dili sila magbayad sa buwis, they're free. Pero ang magbayad, katong gipangsakop nila. And he was also saying that if you are part of my kingdom, ang kingdom ni Jesus, you are also free. And I will pay for you. I am the one who is going to pay for your freedom. Now, naapod kini si Jesus, igamit niya kining fish. Hisgutan nato nga Jesus is na word nila sa English, he has a penchant or ganahan siya ning ordinary things, using ordinary things so we could understand things about him. Pero he usually uses ordinary things. Sa una pa, fish naman ang iyang gamit, like the fish that swallowed Jonah. But Jonah was a story of Jesus because when Jonah was swallowed by the fish, it was pointing to his death, Jesus' death and resurrection. So the story of Jonah nga atong anad kita sa Sunday school nga itudlo sa mga bata, actually it's a story about Jesus. And Jesus himself quoted that story na wala na ilain nga milagro ako ipakita karon kundi ang katong milagro sa panahon ni Jonah. Because Jonah was picturing what will happen to Jesus the Messiah. Now, fish yang gamit. Even he called fishers of men. And even he katong in the parable of the casting of nets and drawing people to himself. So, kuwan siya gamit sa ning mga isda. Pero ato makita din nga kining parable sa fish, and he is using ordinary things so we could understand who we are. So after talking about the parable of the coin in the fish's mouth, okay, kingdom man to, citizen sons. Now he talks about children. He is also implying na kaya di ba iya mag-isagol ng mga ordinaryong butang. So when he talks about a child, he's talking about ordinary things. And actually, ang mga bata sa una, dili kay sila, they are really considered, ang word is very little and even losers. Kay mga bata sila, ubos ang tanaw sa ila. Dili sa amin karon nga naa na may mga balaod concerning sa mga kabataan, and they're given importance, and the children are also, we also make them understand they have the right to education, to shelter, to food and clothing. But sa una nga panahon sa panahon ni Jesus, ubos kailang pagtanaw sa bata. Ang bisuran sila anak. But anyway, nagstorya si Jesus aning child, bata. And he is implying that we are also like that. We become his children. We become citizens of his kingdom, but we are also his children. And then he goes on to say, kining mga parable of the lost. So tulo man siya actually, we will not go sa Luke na text, but pareha raman sila og mga tema. So there is the parable of the lost sheep, na mao rin nasulat ni Matthew. But there's also the parable of the lost coin, na nasulat ni Lucas. And there's also the parable of the lost son, or we always remember it, the prodigal son. Pero one thing na common aning tulo, the lost sheep, the lost coin, and the lost son, is they're all lost. Unsa man na sa Bisaya, nangawala. Okay? O ato makita din nga, ningon si Jesus if. So kini, parable na po ni siya, sambingay. Actually, kining mga storya ni Jesus, kung ato tanawon, mga himo-himo raman niya nga storya, pero iya lagi gamit ang ordinaryo ng mga butang para makasabot kita. Pero kini nga istorya, pwede po di siya mahitabo in real life, pwede po nga wala. But he says if. So if kuno a shepherd, ang isa sa iyang sheep wanders away. Okay? So, kita ng mga children, kita Matthew 18, starting from verse 1, we are his children. Ina pang gipicture din nga mga sheep. Sama ko ta sa mga sheep. We his children are like sheep. And we have a tendency like the sheep to always wander away. Now, first of all, iba natay paborito nga kanta sa una? Si Jekyll ang kuwan to. Itong Leaves the 99, I don't. Diba? It's a very poor, wonderful song. But we always associate ourselves with the 99. When we read the parable, we always say, I am the 99. Dugay na ko nga Kristohanon, dugay na ko din sa pagtuon sa may imong labels, imong kagalingon, and we will always associate ourselves with the 99. But actually, kining 99, it's again imaginary if raman pud ni. Okay, if there is really 99. But the point is, sa parable is, the shepherd will always go after any sheep that is lost. Because the sheep cannot find its way back home. Dili gid niya wala siya abilidad nga mobalik dito sa iyang amo, sa shepherd. Wala siya abilidad to find his way back home kung asa ang ilang pastulan. He will always wander away. But the shepherd will always find him. So ang highlight sa storya actually is the shepherd looking for the sheep who wandered away. Not the 99 who did not go away. Because again, that is just imaginary if there's 99. But the point of the parable is actually the shepherd looking for the sheep. It's the same thing with the lost coin. Okay? Does the coin have life? Coin naman siya. So, coin itself is dead. Wala man sa ingon life. But even though that's just a coin, but that coin is valuable to the woman now. Gikan sa child, gikan sa fish, child, ordinary things. And now he's talking about sheep, and very ordinary to them because they were agriculture in nature. Okay? Nagatanom sila, o napo sila aning ilang cattle, especially sheep. So, Jewish people understand these things, very ordinary things. Now, he uses the sheep and now he uses the coin. Remember, there in the parable of the coin in the fish's mouth, napoy coin dito. Now, ang coin, even though it's just a thing, pero ang gigamit na po din ni the woman. So, ang Ginoo dili na siya pabor-pabor lang sa mga lalaki. So, he's also talking to women. Women, you understand this one. If something is lost in the house na ay mawala, kinsa may mangita? Ang mga lalaki o ang mga babae? Diba, mga babae, mas kabalo maging mo asa pangitaon. Diba? Because women kuno are more into details. Diba? So kami mga lalaki, lisod mig pangita ana, sige lang mig pangita sa among baba, pero dili mig mangita sa among mata. So he is talking to women. Jesus talking to women nga, just like women, they were really tumbahon nila ng balay para pangitaon to nila ang lost coin. Because even that is a coin, it has no life, but that is valuable to a woman. Moment to ang picture dito. And they understood that one. Di ba? So the coin itself, and we are pictured as the coin. We are not pictured as the woman. Okay? We are the coin. It doesn't have any ability to tell to the woman, oh woman, here am I, the coin. May lagi yung tatog cellphone ang mawala. Kaya sa inyo to, asa kong cellphone? I-miss call. Problema lang kung naka-silent. Kung pwede lang unta i-miss call po ng coin, dili man pwede. Di ba? The coin itself, the point is, it has no ability to bring itself in front of the woman. Here am I, you're looking for. No. So we are also pictured as a coin. Child, sheep, and now coin. But then there's the third thing, and it gets more personal because he is talking about the lost son. Okay? The lost son. Tingnan dito, the son himself, kay murag, kita ninyo ang progression sa storya. We are his children, starts with Matthew 18, and talks about we are like sheep, even though we are his children. We are not the 99, okay? And then he talks about the coin, no ability to bring the coin itself in front of the woman. Hey, here am I. You're looking for me. No. Not unless mo undang na ang woman, ang babae, dili gid siya makita. But there is the determination of the shepherd, the determination of the woman to find the thing that was lost. And now he's talking about a son, very personal na son, a lost son. So going back sa idea of we are his children. Okay? Now karon, ingon niya nga, kinsa nilakaw sa balay? Gipalayas ba siya siyang tatay? We know that the lost son, very familiar story, nilakaw ni sa iyan ha. Ug sa iyang paglakaw, ingon siya, ambin na akong bahin sa atong panimalay. Ug dili gid na mahimo, okay? Kay di ba sa ilang nga kultura, ug bisan sa ato siguro mga Pilipino, ihatag gid ang kaptangan sa mga magulang, di ba? Kay magulang ang magsunod. So magulat na lang ang mga manghod, okay? Sa ilang kultura, very patriarchal sila. So the father, and if the father goes away, it has to be given to the firstborn son. So karon, ang younger son, nangayo na sa iyang bahin, and he went away and he finished all his money, and we know nga walay pulos ang iyang gigastuhan sa kwarta, hangtod na hurot lang kini. Now, notice the lost son. The lost son, kuwatong tanawon, he has no ability to bring himself back to his father. That's why unsay klaro kay gipasabot ni Jesus dinhi nga. Sa una sheep, karon coin, kanang tao na karon personal a son. Pero unsay gibuhat sa son before he goes back there sa iyang papa? Di ba naa siya justification? Ingon siya, just make me your servant. Kaya nga naman, kay kabalo man siya nga he went away from his father's house, and he knew that when he went away from his father's house, iyan na pong gisurrender ang iyang pagkaanak. Kaya gipangayo naman po niya ang iyang bahin, di ba? So gisurrender na to niya ang iyang pagkaanak. So ingon siya, servant na lang ko karon. And Jesus is telling us that we people, ang sheep dili pa makiklaro, ang coin mura klaro. But here in the Son, klaro na kayo, kitang tao, it is our nature to always find justification in front of God. We'll always try to find a justification. The justification of the lost son is that just make me your servant. Mga lagad na lang ko sa imo. But the fact of the matter is, he is still a son. Anak gyapon siya. Diba? So wala man ingon ng tatay kay gisurrender na imo yung pagkaanak, di na kanako anak. No. Even though the son did that, gibuhat niya nga dili maayo kayo, sorry for the word, salbahe kay ang gibuhat. Pero the father, not one moment did he think na di na to niya anak gyapon ako to. But that's why he was waiting for his son to go home. Now again, in the parable, we are not the father, but we are the younger son actually, because we're not talking about the older brother here. We're just talking about lostness, mga nawala. So, by the grace of God, because the shepherd was determined to find the lost sheep, because the sheep could not bring himself back home. The woman was determined to find the lost coin because it's valuable to her. And now the father is really determined of finding his son. But anyway, he waited for his son to come home. So this gets more personal. Home. Going home. Diba? So, sa una, bata pa mi, sa Bukidnon, kung muadto mi sa Cagayan de Oro, init man ang Cagayan, parehag klima sa Davao, musaka na galing mi sa bukid hinay-hinay, sakay mi og jeep or van or whatever, kung mas mabati na ganamo ang bugnaw nga hangin, makatulog na dayon mi, mingon mi nga, dool na mi sa balay. Kay bugnaw ang hangin, nakasakinan, so you feel you are going home. Even kung muli ka sa Malay-Balay, na i-place sa Malay-Balay nga magsaka na ka, dayon dool na ka sa Malay-Balay, bugnaw na ang hangin, and you know, I'm coming home, dool na ko sa home. Our homes, din sa kalibutan, actually it's just a picture of our home, where we are really home one of these days. But our home actually is a person, and that is Jesus himself. In the story of the lost son, we always find our home because we are his children. Diba? Bisan pa man nag-justify na ang lost son, but the fact of the matter is, he remembered that there is home. Okay? Now, asa man na tong home? It is in Jesus, because only in Jesus we find, again, we discussed these things last time, only in Jesus will we find love, only in Jesus will we find acceptance, only in Jesus will we find forgiveness. It's also an encouragement for us, earthly parents, that we would make our homes also a place of love, acceptance, and forgiveness for our children. And hopefully, our children would always want to go home. Kung di na gusto muli atong mga bata, I think there's something wrong with us. Hindi naman gusto muli niya akong mga anak. But we also need to picture out, of course, the love of Jesus, especially when we are his believers. That in our home, our children find love, acceptance, and forgiveness, even though they fail. Because that's God, that's Jesus. We always find love in him, acceptance, and forgiveness, and that's our home. Okay? And sure enough, before pa makauli pa yun ang lost son, okay, what happened? The father was running towards him. So let's always remember, in the parable of the lost, we are the ones who are lost. Okay? We are the ones who are lost. Even until now, because di ba, isulti ko sa inyo na yung mga paradox nga idea sa Bible, na ay living sacrifice. Dili mo na mahimo kay sacrifice needs to be dead. Diba? But living sacrifice. Now, we don't have to die like how Jesus died, because he died already in our place. Okay? But when we die, actually, we start to live. Dead to ourselves. No more entitlement. And then when we physically die, actually, we start living. We start eternity. Diba? So, tulo-tulo ka aspeto sa atong death. So anyway, living sacrifice, a paradox. We are saved. We have been made righteous. And we are also sinners, kay makasala man punta. Kung na mo sulti sa ato nga di na ko makasala, perfect na ko, kung dito mao kay ingon galing nga, he who says he has no sin is sinning already, is lying. No, we are both sinner and we are also we were made righteous. Kay makasala man ta. So paradox, two ideas. And the same thing here sa Bible. We can see that we are servant, but of course we are his sons, mga anak ta niya. Okay, mga anak na sa Ginoo, and we are, even though until now, going back to what I was saying, even though dugan na tanga tumutuo, but there are times we always still wander away. We get lost, di ba? And when do we get lost? We get lost when we find love in this world. We get lost when we find acceptance in this world. We get lost when we also find forgiveness in this world. We will not find it. we'll only find it in Jesus because He is our home. But one of these days, we will really get home because we are going to be with Jesus and we will be to be with Him forever because He will come back and He's going to establish His kingdom. And again, another paradox, the kingdom that is already here, it has been here from the very beginning. It did not stop to exist. It's already here. But then one of these days, it will really be fulfilled because there will be the kingdom, the new heaven and new earth. But both ways, we will be with Jesus, our home, and we will be at home forever. Actually, we're coming back here on earth. I don't know kung mao pang atong address, kung kamo na pa mo sa Kalinan, I don't know. Kung na pa mi sa Davao o sa Bukidnon, but we are all coming here because Jesus will establish His kingdom here on earth. But both ways, we are still going to be with Jesus. So that's our home. So, until we are still here, let us be reminded that there are times we wander away, but where is our home? Our home is a person, and that is in Jesus. But the point is, Jesus is always determined to find us. Just like the shepherd who is going to the lost sheep, ipangita niya, seeking the lost sheep. And just like the woman who is looking for the coin, and just like the father who is always waiting for his son to come home, God, Jesus, is always determined to find us, especially in times that we wander away, we get lost, we find love, value, worth, acceptance, and forgiveness from this world that only Jesus can give. So let's always go home to Him. Let's always go back to Him. And thank the Lord that He's always determined to find us. So that's it for tonight. That's the grace of God, even though so itong first principle, freedom. Second thing about grace, God, Jesus is always determined to find us when we are lost. So that's grace, mga igsoon. Because we could never really bring ourselves back to Him. So thank Jesus. Thank God. So see you next Friday. And we'll talk about the next parable in the parables of grace. So God bless you all. Thank you for your time. And good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Pastor. Sa live.
Bye. Bye-bye, Joy. Bye-bye, Tita. Bye-bye, Dong.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.